2022 Planning Board meeting. The only item on the agenda is the continued public hearing for 30 Locust Street, special residential use proposed development. So Jim, what are we doing tonight?
So this evening, the board, since the previous meeting, we were just waiting on those final documents to come in. We're now in receipt of all documents needed. So at the last meeting, the board, while waiting, had asked for a draft decision to be prepared. You have those in your package this evening. So if the board has exhausted their review, you may motion to close and then we can go over those decisions.
Jim Almonte, right?
Yes, I am here.
Welcome. Any final words before we close the hearing?
No, sorry, I missed a little bit of the beginning. My audio wasn't working, but I don't know if you mentioned it, Jim. I did send you a couple of minor comments.
Yep. Yeah. I thank you for those just minor comments, and I've updated that decision. The board has those.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. And then, I didn't see anything in there that was, that stood out. I think it was very reasonable, and I think you did a good job with the conditions. So we don't have any concerns.
With that, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Liz, you want to second it?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed? All right, that passes. All right, Jim.
So in your package tonight, you have two decisions, one for the development plan and stormwater management permit, and the other for the special permit regarding the special residential use for townhomes. If anybody, I'm happy to go over the decisions however the board chooses. If you had an opportunity to review, have any questions, I'm happy to answer those, or I'm happy to also go down the list, whichever preference of the board.
So maybe you could give us sort of a since they're very similar, both decisions are very similar, maybe you could give us a sort of a summary for the public of what's in those decisions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, so both decisions are fairly similar, just the determinations of each are slightly different to abide by our bylaws. So ultimately, though, the determinations have been developed over the course of time. This public hearing, the decision itself really stipulates the 108 townhomes, 216 bedrooms, has been discussed throughout the series and session, and as described on the plan. Any deviation from that would need to come back to the board. Beyond that, moving forward, so there will be a security required. There's going to be inclusionary housing special permit, which is a separate permitting process that will have to be conducted and heard back before this board. Obviously, there's a number of conditions here revolving around construction management throughout the process to give the building inspector and our office a little bit of enforcement measures if and for the abutters if there's any concerns over time about any kind of noise or dust. There's hours of operation for that construction activity to try and limit any concerns, no night work, that kind of stuff. Obviously, the requirement has always and will always, or has always been, utilities will be underground. Dark sky compliant, exterior lighting. Obviously, the long discussion has been going down about sewer, and so condition 11 here really spells out the requirements for sewer running along and the timing for completion of that, including resurfacing Reservoir Drive curb to curb, including the asphalt berms, and stipulations as board is required about obviously there being no betterment fee associated with this, and no requirement to attach for any of the residents, but they can choose if they wish. signage package, if there is any large signage, would need further presentation to the board. Obviously, you know, one of the big sticking points is making sure that that rear access remains as emergency driveway in perpetuity, and documents to require that that in fact does stay in perpetuity. Snow removal stays out of the public way. All of it will be on site there. Fencing requirements, stormwater control requirements, and then there's some other, or obviously our stipulations for sidewalks and the dollars for mitigation as prescribed previously. Certain inspection requirements as we progress, as build requirements, many of the administrative stuff that we must do for each and every project there. That's in general terms the conditions there.
All right. Does anyone have any questions regarding it, either decision? Dennis, any questions,
No,
comments?
fine. I'm good, thank you.
All right, Phil,
No questions.
Liz?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, Rob?
I actually have one for the stormwater management decision. Is there ever a condition in there regarding the construction phase SWIP, the NIPD's construction general permit?
So that's always required at pre-construction.
Okay,
Yeah, we can spell it out further if you would like, but we've always required that at pre-construction.
yeah, if it's standard for pre-construction meetings, that's fine. I just figured if, yeah, no, that makes sense. So, thank you. That is it for me.
All right, no other questions?
Brian, for administratively, Rob is available to vote on the special permit if the chair appoints him.
Okay, so appointed. You're welcome.
Oh my, all right.
All right, so I will then, if there's no other further questions or discussion, I'll entertain a motion to approve as drafted the Bungay Brook Estates Townhome Special Residential Use Townhouse Dwelling Special Permit Decision.
So moved.
Dennis moves it,
Second,
Liz seconds it. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? That passes. All right, and then I'll entertain a motion to approve as drafted the Bungay Brook Estates Townhome Special Residential Use Townhouse Dwelling Development Plan and Stormwater Management Decision.
So moved.
Dennis moves it.
Second by Phil.
Phil seconds. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? And that passes. So Jim, what's our next steps here?
So next steps for the applicant is there is a 20 and 30-day appeal period for each of these decisions. For the board, if you're able to meet with Amy at some point to get a signature, and Amy will certainly can set that up with you guys. Once it's signed and stamped with the town clerk, we'll notify the applicant that the appeal period has begun.
I will
Amy?
have the signature page tomorrow for anybody that wants to come by tomorrow morning.
Okay,
And then we
So,
can get that filed.
what time do you get there in the morning, Amy?
8 o'clock?
Okay.
Yep. And tomorrow we close at 1, so I'll be there all day tomorrow for anybody
you.
that wants to come by. Mhm.
So on behalf of the board, I'd like to thank the applicant for working with us. I'd like to thank the abutters that came out and also worked with us. I think that this was a very collegial effort on everyone's part, and I think it's going to be a good project at the end of the day.
Yes,
Yeah.
and thank you. Thank you on behalf of the applicant as well. And this board has been a pleasure to work with, and staff and the abutters as well. So we appreciate your working to get us towards an approval.
Thank you. All right, Jim, do we just close the hearing?
Yep,
I
we'll close
mention-
the meeting. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Can I
Amy.
mention one quick thing? Just a reminder for everybody, just that next Thursday's meeting is not by Zoom. We're planning to have that be in person. And so there's just 2 agenda items. I think it's 152 Depot and then also 206. So that's in person, but we will have an option for Zoom. But again, we have to have a quorum of the board present. So if anybody does need to Zoom, not a big deal. We will have the link, but we do have a meeting next Thursday as well.
It's a fancy new high-tech room, right? That we're
Ooh,
gonna
we
be
do
in?
have a high-tech room. Watch out, big cameras and big TVs.
Nice.
Yes. Mhm.
Just missed it.
Yep, you just
Yeah.
missed it, Jim. Mhm.
All right, without any further ado, I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting.
I'll second
moved.
that.
All right.
Well, that was
Have a good
close one.
night.
Thank
We'll give it